Welcome, everyone, to the Service Lounge. I am your host, Brandon Nixon, and with me today, we have a very special guest, Ali from Keyes Lexus. And so, Ali, welcome to the Service Lounge. Excited to have you on here.
No, actually, well, appreciate your time, and I'm excited to share a lot of good things with the audience. And you guys been a great partner, and thank you for having me. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, for everyone listening in, I know it's been a little while. We've kind of gone on a hiatus of making a podcast the last couple months, and we've been busy. We had our event that we had down in Tustin, California. You were there, which was great. I thought it was an awesome event. Really just hearing from dealers in the region how things are going with the industry's doing. But we're back, and we're back with some great information, and so again, really excited to have you on and appreciate it. So if you can, for people who don't know who you are, can you kind of give a little background? Where you're from, what are you doing, how long you've been in the automotive business? Let's get to know you a little more.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Ali Alrubaie. Originally, I'm from Iraq. I came into the country as a refugee in 2009. And I had one mission is living the American dream, and here I am, and establishing things that took a lot of hard work, a lot of partners, a lot of development from others, and a lot of supports.
Yeah.
All those made me who I am. I've been in the industry for about, I'll say, 11 years. As far as in service, prior to that, I worked in the car rental business for about 3 years. So I've been around the cars for quite a
That's
bit.
great.
But all of them led to one things: how we drive the culture and how we can get better for our clients. So I think I kind of found the recipe for it, and now we're training others to do the same and make money at the end of the day, and then the most important, deliver that experience to the client and let them trust them.
Yeah.
So that's the main focus we do, and it works. It works great. My team loves it. Their family enjoy it. My team goes home having fun with theirs. So that's pretty much what I'll say about me. I like to build cultures, especially where I'm from is all based on culture.
Yeah,
So.
for sure.
Mhm.
Well, it says a lot, especially with you. I didn't even realize coming over in 2009. It sounds like, but that's not a long time ago. And to get up into the position you're in and what you've been able to accomplish at your store is very impressive. So I'm sure the audience is going to want to hear and learn more about that. So you talk about culture. And so I want to pick your brain on culture because we've always talked about on this podcast so many different topics of how we can improve, guest experience and dealership process, things like that. And ultimately, everything comes down to what sort of culture you got to drive as a manager at your store. So, coming in, to the US, how did you get yourself to really mend and mix like your culture and the culture here, and then get your team at your dealership to work together on that? What got you started on that process?
Well, it is definitely a culture shock. I'll tell you that it is 100% different environments, different culture.
Yep.
But I found something in common, uh, and that thing is us being as a human. So what us
Yep.
like us being as a human? What is it that motivates us to help others?
Yep.
And I start from there, and I draw bubbles of cultures. So my cultures versus here, and what here is good I can use and borrow from my culture and add it to, and kind of mix those two things together to come up with better recipe for everyone. And it's not like taking over one over another. It's more like what could we do to make it better, as it's like the culture I came from, the culture I'm having, because each one it works its own way. So
Yep.
we're not here to change anything. We're here to make it better. And I think along the journey I have met a lot of great people in this industry and even outside work. They have taught me a lot about here, and that was the key and the reason why they were able to help me, because I was very willing to receive.
Yeah.
So that's part of the culture, honestly, between receiving, acknowledging. You're not here to change and make it better. So that way it doesn't come as aggressive or in a way some people take it as. Like you're trying to change us. We're
Yeah.
not here
You're
to
trying
change
to
no one.
disrupt, right?
No, we're here to make it better,
Yep.
and we're here to establish better goals. And sometimes, I look into my previous culture where I came from, and I said, like, no, you know what, this is too aggressive here,
Yeah.
and I see why. So now let's lean out down into a different point of view and deliver to one. I got to learn it myself. And that was the key, honestly, understanding where I stand.
Yeah.
And after that, people start noticing, Ali, you're very good at what you do. Why?
Yeah.
And then when they start asking why, I realize, you know what, there's something is it's good. So it's
Yeah.
worth to share with others. Now, how do I share it with others? I sit down with myself and I start doing those bubbles I talked about,
Yeah.
mirroring the two cultures. And one things I really focus on, how the audience receive it, which is my team members, right?
Mhm.
Do they receive it as like, oh my God, this is something I got to do, or do I inject it in a way that it's good for them and they can take it even home?
Yeah.
So focus on the root of the success. The more my team is aware of that and understanding the differences, the better my clients receive a better service overall. And you know what, this recipe, this is the first time I share it. Like, I haven't really
Yeah.
shared that success. Last month we end up number 5 in the region,
That's
in the
amazing.
customer service, as a Lexus delivery. So that did not happen because of me. That happened because of the team that actually received the culture that we're aiming for. To be in top 5, I mean, we got 100% customer service, and you've been
That's
in the
amazing.
industry, and I'm
And
pretty
this
sure over
area too. It's not just
and
the industry, but this area that we live in is not easy to please at 100%. So
so
that's very impressive.
to get 100%, this is my success, that I am very proud. I haven't really announced it to all my team yet. It's just been one of those busy weekend, but we're still pushing at 100% in mid June. So it's great to see that. Customers are very satisfied, and you know, the team is happy. They're handling business as it should, and that's the pretty much the concept and recipe of it.
Well, one thing you mentioned that I think stands out, and it really separates, a boss from a true leader,
Hmm.
which is listening, right, and learning, and knowing that you don't know everything, and you have to learn yourself in order for the rest of the team to actually follow in the direction, right? But I agree with you. So many times we see managers come in, especially if you're a new manager or you've been promoted into this new role, your instant reaction is like, all right, I got to make my mark. We got to make some changes. And there's good ways to do that and there's bad ways to do that, right? But listening and then getting your team involved makes them know that you care instead of you just coming in and disrupting everything, right? And I think that's crucial. I've got a story, my dad has always shared this story with my great grandpa because we started our business in body shops, actually not far from you guys out in El Monte.
Mm.
I was supposed to be fourth generation taking over the body shop and then we moved into the software side with Update Promise and everything. But my dad always shares the story that when he was working in the body shop, my great grandpa brought him out into the middle of the shop and said, "The day that I stop learning is the day that I die." Right. And that
Million
I think
percent.
that is so crucial just in everything we do in our lives that like we're never at that peak where we know everything. We're humans, right? So let's learn, let's adapt.
Million
Let's,
percent. There's another piece to that, I would like to add, which a lot of us are kind of somehow guilty of, and some of them
yeah,
will agree, some of them will disagree, but we forget where we came from,
yeah,
and that's key. And I'm not talking where I personally from, but I'm
yeah,
talking. I used to be an advisor, so there is certain emotions go through that role itself, and we get caught up with management or fix ops and parts that we forget there's still that emotion still exists.
yeah,
So what am I doing to get this emotions gotten better, or doing that open policy that the doors like is open for everyone to come in and share their emotions, and most importantly, what am I doing to take care of it? Because
yeah,
that's what they look at end of the day. So we have a client to take care of, but also we have employees to take care of. Just the way we want
yep,
for the clients, I want it for my employees, and that's one of the things that we kind of sometimes we forget. I've been to other dealerships, and then you look at it, and I'm like, why this is happening, you know?
yep,
And you look at it, you understand how to fix it, but you're not in position to say so, and you just watch others suffering, And it is sad.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. You were fortunate enough. Your dad had his grandfather to walk him and show him what's the real focus.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate enough that I came from a country that I have to live a surviving mode, so I have no other choice than do excellence, right?
Yeah.
But there's others that don't have that luxury. So
Yeah.
as a leader, I always look into what am I doing to get that luxury to them without if they want it or not. But my job is to deliver either way. And if
Yeah.
they receive it, goes back to receiving. If they receive it, that's great. If not, maybe I deliver it differently next time. And just the way I, humbling about it.
Well, there's two sides of the term. You
Uh-huh.
can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. There's a positive side that you can take out of that of like, hey, at some point you can do as much as you possibly can. But the negative side of that term that I've always taken is, you're responsible for your team's success. If they fail, guess who failed? You failed, right?
Million percent.
And you got to set them up for that success, right? You got to do your part to set them up for success and care. When you're a manager who views your service advisors as a dime a dozen, it's like, okay, you're never going to succeed, right? You got to really spend time to care about your team, and guess what? They'll take care of their customers, right? And in
Million.
turn, they're going to want to do more for you, right?
Absolutely. Well, it's funny the way I share this story. Same thing. You can take everyone to the water, right? But what if it's a salty water?
Yeah,
And that's why
exactly.
they're not drinking, and that's the toxic environment that we're creating to it. So I want to understand why they're not drinking the water in the area, and kind of see maybe the environment I put them in is not the right one.
Yeah, that's
However,
great.
not everything is for everybody.
Yeah,
So identifying this also key to success. I mean, sometimes you got to make tough decisions, and
yeah,
by sitting them down and explaining to them, listen, this is not for you, and it's okay to say that. But I see you in this.
yeah,
Now I do have the luxury of maybe change your role. It's not demoting. It's
yeah,
more I want you to enjoy what you do because, as you know, I'm pretty sure all the audience know. Like when you do something you enjoy, you just love it, and you don't
exactly.
feel like you're working. I mean, it's. I don't want them to think like I do work a lot, and
Yeah,
it's sometimes my my family look at me was like Ali, but you're not tired, and they see that joy inside of me,
yeah,
and it's because I genuinely like it.
yeah,
So that's part of the culture as well, identifying what things are not working
yep.
and how you approach it in a healthy way. I'll say.
Well, and I think if you spend enough time with your team, you can identify their strengths and what's going to help them be more successful, and you can identify their weaknesses. And any individual who's looking to be successful in this world is going to listen as you give that feedback, right? But you got to spend time with your team to actually understand that. And I love what you said of, hey, maybe this isn't right for you, but based off what I've seen, I think you'd be happy. I think you'd be really successful in this position or this role or this way of doing things. At least you're not just throwing the baby out with the bathwater and just getting rid
No.
of it. You're keeping it going. So that's awesome. So can you tell me? You'd shared with me earlier you're starting up this service advisor training in class. Can you share with the audience, as much as you'd be willing to share, a little bit more about that? Like what's your goal behind it, and what success have you seen from it so far?
Absolutely. I don't mind sharing. Obviously, it's not a secret. This service role, it is one of the toughest role in the car industry.
Yeah.
Some people might disagree with me, but I will take the risk on that.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how much emotion they go through. However, they're the only departments they do not have the proper training, unlike sales.
Yeah.
Right? Sales department got the training going, and you hire a new guy. They're trained. They shadow this person. They train. And the service ride. Do you know how to write? Here's
Yeah.
your tablet, and have a
You're
good
thrown in
one.
with the sharks. That's it. There you go.
So we created this class, obviously with my mentor Mike Montague and I. We went through certain emotions that we need to get into, and we came down to there's no really a true um, class for them to understand the basics
Yeah.
of being an advisor. So we created the three level of that: 101, 102, 103 being the advanced. 101 for the beginners and midfield. That way, because some advisors, if you send them to class, they were like, "Well, I'm too advanced to that." So we
Yeah.
had pretty much did that 3 levels of education to them. Today is my first day doing the training, so
That's great.
I would love to give you more in details, like if it's successful or not. But I'm very positive the team will receive some good feedbacks on how to be an advisor. What is
Yeah.
it is what is it an advisor? And why this job exists from the first place. And I think it's more like understanding the history of it and how it started. And that's pretty much the 101 in class. So that way they can understand the chemistry and the emotions that goes with it, and then how they can do better along with their learning, because you cannot learn to be an advisor. You just have to go through the process. But if I educate you on how to take the notes, how to do an active earring with the clients, how to do the eye contact,
Yeah.
how's your hands standing, how are you handling the luxury of delivery,
Yep.
right? Are you like looking at to the license plate of this customer and saying, "Oh my God, I like Dodgers too,"
Yeah.
or like, what, they failed last time, and I hope they had a better. How are you engaging with your clients? And this is something that the more stores I go to and watch, and I feel they're going or fading away from that basics, because we are on such a high demand of we wants to increase in everything. We forget the basics.
Yep.
There's, as you know, no basics, there's no climbing, because at the end of the
Yep.
day, you will file faster. So we're going back to the road of basics, and you will eventually hear this more going into this year. A lot of dealerships will go this direction because they will see one, my store and other store that I'm in. They're start bringing numbers,
Yeah.
and I'm talking numbers. And when they start seeing those numbers, they're gonna ask.
Yep.
And I am more than happy to share the success, because it's not a secret for anyone. It is just going back to basics, and whatever that could be to you, your dealership or your service department, it is going back to basics is key to success.
Absolutely. I think also, too, I know, like you said, you're just now getting into it and starting doing the training, but just the fact that you're doing this at your store, I think it shows to your team that number one, like I said, you care and you're willing to put that investment into them, which I think will help your long term retention. But you're right. I mean, service advisors don't get enough training. It is just thrown in with the wolves and get going and figure it out. Right. And oftentimes we have to think about what's the most common position that is moving into a service advisor, and is that position just so transferable that they instantly know what to do? And 9 times out of 10, it's not, right? They don't know how to, properly greet that customer, handle that luxury experience, which kind of leads me to my next point here. So, with you guys being the Lexus store, it is all about luxury. It's all about guest, not customer, right? And we've I'm very close with Lexus, so I hear and I understand their culture that they try to drive at each store, which has led them to be one of the most successful brands ever, right? So how are you, let's say when you get advisors who haven't been part of a luxury brand, how do you get them used to that experience? Or what are some, I guess, tidbits of information that you share with them to get them started there?
Um, this is a great question. I just put a note on who we hire, and it's one question I ask myself: who we hire.
Yeah.
I go after resumes. If there's no experience, I'll give you an example. I'll go after someone work in the restaurant industry,
Yeah.
so they have the customer service, the pressure, all that things that advisors emotionally go through, along with delivering elegant, because that's part of being a serve. Like they serve the food, they want to make sure you're okay, you're getting the
Yep.
right food, and they check on you. Communication. I go this direction normally, typically, and I go with as long as you have the right culture. I'll say that's the hardest part. Things will fall into place because um, we all are followers. Everyone follow others. If
Yep.
I corrected the right environment for them, they're gonna just follow the someone that has been in that business for a few. That's just
Yep.
the way I look into it. So creating the environment for them is key.
Yep.
before hiring someone that with no experience. I do use 101 with them for like 2 days. That's like 48 hours. Like I do 101 by they're in
Yeah.
my office and we just talk. Generally talking, not business, nothing. More like so. How do you take care of this? Like, how do you go? Like in the past, like what was things that you failed with that, and you felt there's no one there for you,
Yep.
just to show them what kind of leadership I am and to kind of live for what I'm telling them about the door open door policy because you got to live it too. So
Yeah.
that's the first 48 hours that they get paid for it. I I try to do it more, but it's just getting harder and harder for me to
Yeah.
get there.
Well,
But
especially if you're growing the business, but it's worth it.
but it is very much worth it.
Yeah.
It's hardly for me to lose an advisor, and if they do not succeed in it, they know it before me, and they
Yeah.
come and tell me, Ali,
Exactly.
you're right.
Yeah.
So setting the expectation is key to answer your question. Putting the right environment and the culture, it's definitely a must, and most importantly, a follow up.
Yeah.
I'm very proactive. I do not react to things. Those are the three points that I use to build a strong a new advisor to the industry. Now, understanding the brand, as you mentioned, Lexus is one of the brands that they just don't want to just deliver; they want to live it.
Yeah.
And I've been with the brand for 10 years, and I'll tell you, I know what's the DNA they're looking for, and I'm glad to be part of that, and I am pushing it, and I'm actually challenging them. What could we do better? I
Yeah.
always do it, and when they come, I was like, Ali, I was like, there's always better. So, there's always something to do better. The challenge is, do you believe it?
Yep.
And if you do, you will be definitely successful at what you do. And that's just one of the things I tell everyone that I work with. Another
That's
things
great.
I do share with this and at every single meeting, and I end up my meetings with them. Remember, team, we're not here to compete with anybody. We're here to do the best that we could and let everyone else compete with us.
Yep.
So, like, they just gonna enjoy our success, and they'll be like, "How this team did it?"
Hmm.
And it's all about the team, and it's the family that we built, and how we're gonna push to the next level. Obviously, there's always someone better than us. So I look at this, I'm like, so why they're better than me?
Yeah.
What did they do differently? And the more you look into it, they have established better culture. I'm like, okay, there is better,
Hmm.
and go from there.
Well,
Hmm.
I think what that shows, like we run into that constantly here at our company as well. Competition is healthy. It should be
Uh-huh.
there, right?
Uh-huh.
And it drives you to be better. Exactly what you just said. Like, okay, if they are beating us in this area, what are they doing? What can I learn from that to improve? And I often, especially with dealerships, I see that they get angry and they only focus on the number, but they miss the non-tangible things that are driving that success, right? And they're not willing to listen or to learn, use it as a learning experience. But I agree with you that, let's focus on what we can accomplish and everything else will flow there. And then let's listen and learn as much as we possibly can. If we just focus on, the other individuals and what they're doing, then we start forgetting what we're doing here and what we should be doing right and how we're doing it right. So that's awesome.
part
I
part
love that.
part of success is failing,
Yep.
and a lot of people don't accept failing, and it's one of the things that is sad to see. They're going through the emotions of like, I failed, instead of saying, you know what, I'm glad I did,
Yep.
so that way I can learn from what I did and do it better. And it's just the way you receive things, and I think that's one of the important things I tell them. It is okay to do a mistake,
Yep.
but it's not okay to not learn from it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Well, I think what I will say, I'll give you a lot of credit. Your team will do as you do, right? They
Mhm.
will repeat how they handle the customer, the way that you as the manager handle the customer as well. And I think you do a great job. The way that you hold yourself, the way that you communicate, that sets apart, especially when you bring someone in who doesn't have a lot of experience. That's the first thing they're looking at is like, okay, you brought me in, you took a shot with me, right? You gave me a chance, let me learn from you. And so if they see you misstep in some way, then they will. They'll view it as that's okay. And I can't tell you how many times I'll walk into stores and managers, it's just like, oh, service advisor, don't go in there today. It's not a good day, so and so. And they just, the way that they carry and hold themselves, I go, well, what do you expect your service advisors to do when they see you act like that? And so I think that's a crucial part. You got to keep yourself at a level head. And if you're not right, you can't expect your team to be right.
It's a reflection. So I'll give you another story into that.
Okay.
So I'm going to this training, and it's not just Lexus I'm going with. So there's other brands.
Yeah.
We're not gonna call names,
Yeah.
but there's different style management, right? There's 7 stores. We're selecting some. I'm sorry, 6 stores that we're selecting a few advisors to do the first class.
Yeah.
And I got out of 6, 4 stores responded to me. Friday sounds good. We'll send this, except 2, and they say I can't send anyone. So I replied with, "Well, let's get your team, and then we'll have one-on-one that kind of conversation of why you cannot send
Yeah.
an advisor." So you're telling me the business is relying on one person
Yeah.
culture? Is that what we have? And it's like I'm not even sending the advanced one. We're more looking into the beginners, meaning the advisors that not going to make a huge difference into the store technically because they're
Yeah.
starting into the business. So if you can't do that, maybe we need to look into the whole format of the culture that you have.
Exactly.
And another line I use with that, I told everybody that I work with, Lexus sign will be there with me or without me.
Exactly.
It's just the way the business run, and it's the harsh reality of it. The business will run, but how are you running the business?
Yep.
Is it successful or are you like dragging it down?
Yep.
Some people don't acknowledge it, and they think it's just temporarily things. But yes, you can make a change. You just got to believe it.
Yep.
For me, all the stores is gonna be send their advisors, and they will learn something, and they will see the benefits out of what we're doing. So that's another problem. So they're not sending their team for success because they think that we're not pretty much being real with them, and we're gonna
Yep.
fail them. But if we send them, take that 2 hours from them to train, they're gonna not bring that extra $200, $300 that we expect. But that 2 hours could actually bring you the thousand of dollars going forward with
Correct.
a luxury of delivery, right? Like a luxury of client coming back. Because let's face it, how many dealership is failing with retention?
Oh, too many.
Too many. And I'll tell you this, I'm proudly I can say we're driving 15% above what we need into like CPROs of what we need as far as cars coming to the dealership. So I'm running about like another 300 cars more a month than what I used to. Not because we're doing anything different. It's the people.
Yep.
It's how they deliver to the clients the same mission that I want, the same vision that we want to look at. They're doing the same thing, and
Absolutely.
it's a sad things to see other stores failing with. I think there's always room for improvement. We're never claiming that we're the best out of everything. There's always room for improvements. If I'm doing good in a certain area, as you know, I'm most likely failing somewhere else.
Exactly.
So, but I'm aware of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I look into what we're failing with, and I consult with my team. Well, what could we do to do a better result? And that's
Absolutely.
also another key with it.
That's great.
Um,
Well, I think you've given a lot of great information, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to pick your brain on how you're driving that culture. But you've done an awesome job. Congrats on hitting that top 5 in the region. That's amazing. I know that's a big accomplishment, especially the 100% CSI. There's a lot to say about that. So,
mhm.
but thank you again for taking the time on the service lounge, and I'm going to circle back with you towards the end of the year to hear about how this training is going and get more information on that as well. So, thanks again, and look forward to having you on here again.
Brandon, well, I do appreciate you, and you know where to find me. And I also want to point out another part of our success was the partnerships that we have with our vendors, and you guys were one of the vendors that drove, our challenge us with a lot of things, and
Yeah.
part of the challenge, we also challenge you with a lot of things. So it's kind of how we both received it goes back to what I was talking about, receiving versus delivery, and we will not be here talking about this, and if we did not have that kind of partnership
Yep.
with you, and also the vendors that I also work with in the this dealer. So
Yeah.
everyone was great. It's a no just me success. It's everyone else, and I think you guys part of our success. And I do appreciate you for having me. And thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Appreciate the kind words, and hope you have a great rest of your month. I know you're already kicking ass so far, and as always, thanks again, and look forward to talking with you soon.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you so
everybody
much.
who's listening on. Have a great day.